As cities expand and populations grow, the balance between urban development and environmental preservation becomes increasingly precarious. Urbanization often leads to the destruction of natural habitats, forcing wildlife to adapt or relocate. Some species, such as raccoons and pigeons, have successfully adjusted to urban life, finding food and shelter in city environments. However, many others face significant challenges, including loss of food sources, exposure to pollutants, and increased human interaction. Despite these difficulties, efforts to mitigate the effects of urbanization on wildlife are gaining momentum. Green spaces, such as parks and wildlife corridors, provide animals with safe havens amid urban sprawl. In addition, conservation programs aim to educate communities about coexistence with local wildlife. These initiatives demonstrate that humans and animals can share the same environment with minimal conflict when thoughtful planning and awareness are prioritized. By addressing the root causes of habitat destruction and fostering harmony between urban development and nature, cities can become more sustainable for all species. It is not a question of choosing one over the other but of finding innovative solutions that benefit both. 1. Which of the following best identifies the primary purpose of the passage? A. To describe a scientific process. B. To argue for a specific policy change. C. To narrate a personal experience. D. To compare and contrast different theories. Two. In context, the word mitigate most likely means A. To increase. B. To alleviate. C. To monitor. D. To clarify. Three. The author's tone can best be described as A. Objective and analytical. B. Informal and conversational. C. Angry and critical. D. Humorous and satirical. Four. What can be inferred from the passage about the impact of urbanization on wildlife? A. Wildlife thrives in urbanized areas. B. Urbanization has a mixed impact on wildlife. C. Urbanization solely benefits human development. D. Wildlife completely avoids urbanized areas. Five. Which statement best summarizes the passage? A. A detailed description of human migration patterns. B. An argument against technological advancements. C. An exploration of the relationship between nature and urban development. D. A guide on how to improve urban infrastructure. Six. The passage primarily uses which of the following organizational structures? A. Cause and effect. B. Chronological order. C. Problem and solution. D. Compare and contrast. Seven. Why does the author include a quote from a scientist? A. To strengthen their argument with expert testimony. B. To provide a counterargument. C. To add humor to the passage. D. To summarize the main point of the passage. Eight. Which of the following is an example of bias in the passage? A. Relying on emotional appeals rather than evidence. B. Using multiple sources to support an argument. C. Presenting both sides of the issue fairly. D. Citing statistical data. Nine. The passage is most likely intended for which audience? A. Elementary school students. B. General adult readers. C. Scientific researchers. D. Historians. 10. Which of the following best describes the main theme of the passage? A. The inevitability of urban expansion and its benefits for human populations. B. The need to balance urban development with environmental preservation. C. The consequences of ignoring wildlife in urban planning. D. The role of education in mitigating environmental challenges. (11) Which of the following sentences contains an error in subject-verb agreement? A. The team of scientists was awarded a grant. B. Each of the participants have a unique perspective. C. The data collected during the experiment is conclusive. D. A series of tests was conducted to verify the hypothesis. (12) Identify the sentence with a misplaced modifier. A. Running late for class, the student's notebook fell. B. The student, running late for class, quickly grabbed their notebook. C. Quickly grabbing their notebook, the student ran late for class. D. The student ran late for class, grabbing their notebook on the way out. (13) Which transition word is most appropriate to complete the sentence? She studied diligently for weeks, blank, she aced the exam. A. However. B. Therefore. C. Consequently. D. Nevertheless. (14) Which of the following sentences is punctuated correctly? A. The professor said it's important to review your notes. B. The professor said it's important to review your notes. C. The professor said it's important to review your notes. D. The professor said it's important to review your notes. (15) Choose the best revision for the sentence below. He was running late, he decided to skip breakfast. A. Running late, he decided to skip breakfast. B. He decided to skip breakfast running late. C. Running late, he decided to skip breakfast. D. He was running late and skipped breakfast. Which sentence best combines the following? The weather was unpredictable. We canceled our outdoor plans. A. The weather was unpredictable, therefore, we canceled our outdoor plans. B. The weather was unpredictable, we canceled our outdoor plans. C. Because the weather was unpredictable, so we canceled our outdoor plans. D. Unpredictable weather canceled our outdoor plans. Which sentence demonstrates proper parallel structure? A. She enjoys swimming, running, and to hike. B. She enjoys swimming, running, and hiking. C. She enjoys swimming, to run, and hiking. D. She enjoys to swim, running, and hiking. Identify the sentence with a dangling modifier. A. Walking through the park, the flowers were blooming beautifully. B. The flowers were blooming beautifully as I walked through the park. C. I walked through the park, and the flowers were blooming beautifully. D. Blooming beautifully, the flowers lined the park path. Which sentence is free of grammar errors? A. Everyone should do their homework before the class. B. Everyone should do his or her homework before the class. C. Everyone should do their homework before the class start. D. Everyone should do his or her homework before the class start. Which version is most concise? In the event that we arrive late, we will call you. A. If we arrive late, we will call you. B. In case we might be late, we will call you. C. If we're running behind schedule, we will call you. D. In the event of being late, we will call you. Solve for x. 2x plus 3 is equal to 15. A. 6. B. 9. C. 12. D. 15. TSIA2. The Texas Success Initiative Assessment 2.0 or TSIA2 is a comprehensive diagnostic tool designed to evaluate the academic readiness of students entering Texas public colleges and universities. The test assesses core skills in mathematics, reading, and writing to ensure that students are prepared for college-level coursework. It identifies areas where students may need additional support, enabling institutions to provide targeted interventions or developmental education. While exemptions are available based on standardized test scores, for example, SAT or ACT, the TSIA2 serves as a critical step for many students in aligning their academic skills with the demands of higher education, ultimately promoting success and reducing the need for remedial classes. Here are 5 top beneficial uses of TSIA2. 1. Identifying college readiness. TSIA 2.0 helps assess a student's academic skills in areas such as reading, writing, and mathematics to determine if they are ready for college-level courses. This ensures students are placed in courses that match their skill level, which can improve their academic success. 2. Guiding remediation efforts. If a student doesn't meet the required standards, TSIA 2.0 can identify specific areas where they need remediation. This allows institutions to provide targeted support to help students build the skills they need before taking college-level courses, improving their chances of success in the long run. 3. Course placement. The assessment results guide accurate course placement in college, ensuring that students are enrolled in classes suited to their proficiency level. This helps avoid students being placed in courses that may be too challenging or too easy for them, optimizing their learning experience. 4. Personalized academic planning. TSIA 2.0 can help students and academic advisors develop personalized educational plans based on the assessment results. This helps ensure students take the right courses at the right time to progress efficiently toward their degrees or certificates. 5. State compliance. Texas higher education institutions are required to use the TSIA 2.0 to meet state mandates for assessing students' readiness for college-level coursework. The assessment also supports the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board's initiatives to improve overall student success and reduce remediation rates across the state.